Welcome back to Unleashed, Unfiltered, and Unapologetically Human with me, your host, Julie. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the growing pains, just what it's like to transferring from a teenager to an adult. I am currently 24 years old. I am just a little itty bitty baby adult. I am definitely still exploring life. We're going to talk about a little bit about the emotional and mental health shifts that come with becoming an adult. So, like identity, loneliness, purpose, and patience with yourself. A lot of these things I have been experiencing within the last few years, especially with becoming who I am as a person. I definitely have changed a lot within the last 4 or 5 ish years. I the things I believed in back when I was a teenager and now are completely different. I definitely do. I definitely have realized that learning who you are also has to do with healing and trying to heal all the stuff that you experienced as a kid. And I have noticed that me becoming an adult, I have gone through a lot of trauma, but not only that, I have definitely been more open to trying to change a lot of behaviors that I picked up as I got older from either that be family members, parents, siblings, whatever. I definitely have been open to changing those behaviors, especially if they're negative or they're impacting my life in a negative way. I really don't want a lot of drama. I've gone through so much that I honestly just wanna I'm at that age, which this is crazy, I know. I'm only 24, but I do wanna settle down. I'm not completely sure about kids yet with this scary world, but I definitely wanna settle down. I definitely want to, have a family, but it is very hard with having to work so hard as well as getting to know myself. I am currently starting school to get my bachelor's and eventually my master's. I am trying to become a therapist. I My partner has encouraged me when I was so scared to even try to apply to go back to school. It's been quite a few years and I was just so scared of failing. Growing up, I was an only child for the longest time, and then my parents adopted my little brother. We are 11 years apart, so there is that big age gap. I always felt like I had to be the strong one. I had to, be really smart. I had to be the role model, and it honestly sucked because of the fact that I felt like I could not fail at anything. And I am trying very hard to be able to turn failure to me that used to be painful and just terrifying to something that I fail is something that changes me as well as helps me with becoming a better person. So I'm definitely still working on trying to transition that mindset into something more positive. My best friend has definitely helped me as well. She's been there since I was in high school. I think she's the longest relationship I've had. But we're just trying to figure out what the heck we're doing in life, what is our purpose. And I've realized that trying to figure out your identity, you're not just this fixed person, like you're not just this person and that's it. You change as a person throughout life, from experiences, from relationships, whatever life throws at you, you change as a person. And so you somebody that met you 10 years ago is going to have a different view on you than somebody that you met now, because things have definitely changed you, and the way you think, the way you say things is completely different from 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I was obsessed with, boys and like these romantic books. And now I, that's definitely not on my mind anymore. I, I, I'm still trying to figure out life. I'm trying to figure out what I like. Still, I definitely still like helping people. Mental health is a big part of my life. It's been a big part of my life since I was young. My parents had mental health issues, and I definitely do. And I am wanting to be able to help in, even if it's a small way, of being able to hear somebody out and talk them through a lot of difficult situations. I feel like a lot of my careers that I had, I started in the veterinary field, and I've been in the veterinary field for 7, 8 years now. I, the reason why I started in that was because I wanted to help animals. And that's what I did. I got my career, I got my certification to be a vet assistant, and I just did it. And I've been in this field for almost 8 years, and now I am wanting to change my perspective, change my view on things, and start helping people instead of animals. And I only think the reason why I want to start helping people mentally is because this past few years I have really gone through a lot of trials and tribulations that no 24-year-old should be going through. But I want to be the person that I wish somebody was for me the last few years, only because life is so difficult, and transitioning into, from a teenager to an adult, it's very difficult. And it's very, if you don't have the right support to help you transition into this real world, it can tear you to pieces. And I have learned that the hard way. I learn the hard way all the time. That's just me. That's my personality. But I want to start helping people, especially I thought about continuing to stay in the veterinary field, but once I get licensings, my license and stuff, I do want to try and find companies that, are in the veterinary field, and being able to, be basically a therapist for people in the veterinary field. And I think it would be beneficial because of the fact that I've been in the field for so long. I know what it's like to have like 10, 15 inpatients, and you're being stretched so thin. You're trying to, make sure that the care for these animals are excellent or above par. You're trying to help owners that are like very emotional because obviously their baby's in the hospital. Having that experience already, I think it will definitely help me in the long run once I start my licensing. And I really do want to make a big difference because of the fact that the veterinary field is one of the top of suicides. And it's only because of the fact that we're having, if you think about it this way, animals are like babies. They can't tell you what's wrong. And we have to figure it out by diagnostics, by x-rays, ultrasounds, running blood, running fecals, like stuff like that. And I've been working in emergency for pretty much the whole time that I've been in the veterinary field, so I've seen like the worst of the worst. And it can be very emotionally taxing because you're having to not only be able to comfort, owners, because this is their worst day. Their baby is in the hospital. They don't know what's wrong. We don't know what's wrong yet, and trying to reassure them, letting them know that hey, we're trying to help you. But you always get that backlash of we're in it for the money. We don't care about their animal, and that is never the case at all. And unfortunately, there is always those bad apples in any career. And I I think the veterinary field needs a lot more focus when it comes to the employees and their mental health, because once you start taking care of the employees, the care for your animals, the care for, the patients, having that clear communication with your team, I think it is very beneficial, and you have to start there before you can start with anything else, because without taking care of your team, you're not able to come together and have that main goal, which is taking care of patients. So here I am. I am 24, going back to college to restart and hopefully reach my goal, which I am super determined. I am really excited. Sorry. But yeah, that's a little bit about kind of like the identity, and you are always going to find something new about yourself. You're going to learn, you're going to find things that you used to believe 10 years ago, now you don't believe it anymore. And being able to separate yourself between your family and how you were raised, and then being able to think for yourself, that is a big thing that I have recently learned, to be able to speak up for myself. I am very much an introvert. I don't really like to go out much. I just kind of try to stick to myself. I That's just how I am. But I definitely in the past, it's always been difficult for me to have good communication with, whether that be for confronting like coworkers, friends, parents, my significant other. And that has been the biggest thing for me that I've really trying to work on and getting better. I am trying so hard to be able to speak up for myself, not only because I've been silent and I've been quiet for a long time about a lot of issues that have not only in my family but as well as with relationships, and it has caused a lot of issues, but it has helped me in the long run because of the fact that I'm able to express how I feel. I'm able to let it out and it not be just building up inside, which I've been doing for so many years. It is so hard for me now to just sit in my thoughts and not be able to express myself, because I've just been bottling up so many things over the years. As a child, I was just so much. And so now my body is literally rejecting me of trying to keep things in. And again, it's a good thing. I through therapy and everything, I am trying to heal from a lot of trauma, but I am also trying to become a better person from all these experiences I've had. And I'm very grateful for the people I have in my life to be able to support me and help me through it, because I've literally had so many realizations over the past year about myself, about triggers I have, about so many different things. Like, it's very eye opening to be able to kind of sit with yourself and figure out what is it that you want. Not what anybody's telling you, not whatever anybody's expectation of you. Being able to sit with yourself and just learn who you are as a person. Because the person I was when I was a teenager is somebody different than I am now. I I want to be a better human being. I want to be able to heal from all of my mistakes, trauma, and everything that's happened to me in the past, because it definitely does hinder you from progressing as a person as well as having more good experiences. I have held on to many things from when I was a child, and that definitely has affected my relationship with my parents. And, hopefully in the future, I am able to have a better relationship. I know it will take time, as well as just being able to fully communicate what it is I'm needing from my parents. That is something that in time I do want to work on, only because I it's hard being by yourself, and I did move to a different state, and it's scary. But I think I really needed it to be able to figure out who Julie was. I've always been taking care of other people, putting everyone before me, kind of conforming to whoever I was with as a partner. And now I know I learned the hard way, but I have now been able to accept a lot of things, as well as be able to speak up for myself and try my best in just learning who I am as a person is the biggest thing, and it is super lonely. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is super lonely because I have been I've had so much trauma that I've tried to run away from, with feelings wise, emotion wise, just feeling angry. That is one thing that I have noticed, that I am a very angry woman. I From bottling up for so many years, I now just have anger in how I feel about things. And I'm definitely working through that. But with that anger has come being very lonely, in a way that I've lost many friends. I've lost many people that I thought that had good vibes toward me. I realized that it wasn't good things. They were wishing bad on me without me really noticing it. And as I became more aware of what I want in life, as well as how I want to be treated, I've lost many people, and that's normal in life, but it is very hard for me to deal with, and it makes me distant myself with the world, with, people that I already still have in my life. I tend to distance myself with them, only because the way I try to heal myself is I don't want anybody to see my angry side to me, because I just like ugly cry, and I'm just so angry. I'm the type that I cry when I'm angry. And I I definitely distant myself when that happens, only because I don't want people to see how much pain I'm in all the time. And that is one thing I am trying to work on, and being able to communicate that of how I'm feeling. I I did lose my partner almost years ago, and I that is something that has stuck with me for a long time. It's only been 3 years, but I grief is really strange and really up and down, and it has affected a few of my relationships, and I'm really trying to work through all my trauma that I had with that relationship. And as well as one thing that my therapist told me, which this helped me so much in so many different ways. She told me that, because I have, for the last few years, I've been trying to explain my grief to people, to relationships I've had, to be able to explain that, of like why I feel so upset, or why I'm feeling a certain way, or whatever the case is, because of that relationship and what happened. And what she told me was, you have to stop trying to get people to understand you and understand how you feel, because they are never ever going to understand the grief and the sadness, the anger, like all of those emotions. They're never going to understand that unless they experience it themselves. And I never thought of it like that because I've just been trying to be like, this is why I'm so upset. Like, it has nothing to do with you. Like, trying to explain so many times of what is going on in my head, and it just blows up in my face every single time. And that realization, that her telling me that, really helped me in being able to be like, you know what? It's okay for me to feel how I feel. And it's okay. And I don't need people to fully understand me. If they don't, how do I say it? Um if they don't understand me, that's completely fine. But I will not allow somebody to tell me how I should be feeling about something they have no experience in. They have no real, they're not able to really, they're not able to really experience what I've experienced. And that is where I've made my boundary over the past year of not letting people tell me how I should feel when it comes to that situation. And that is something that a lot of people should realize as well, of you, no matter what you go through in life, you cannot make somebody understand who you are, how you, I mean, yeah, there is negative things that, how you go about things. Yeah, there's definitely room for improvement to be able to have more positive reactions. But, and this is something that's really important that I want to emphasize, no one has the right to tell you how you should feel about something they have never been through. I'm going to say it again. Nobody has the right to tell you how you should feel if they've never gone through it. And even then, even if they have gone through it, they still don't have any right to tell you that you should be moving on, that you should be doing this, you should be doing that, because grief, I have people that have lost their significant other, and that was 10 years ago, and they're still having those bad days. They're still just going through it. And so grief is so different for everyone, and I want to make sure that people that are listening, whatever experience, even if it's not even death, even if it's just like a breakup, if it's like losing a pet, if it's anything like that, your emotions are valid. And if somebody isn't willing to not even have that understanding, but being able to be empathetic and being able to, just hear you out, those people are not right for you, and they're not there for your good intentions. Because if they were, they would be able to be like, you know what, I'm really sorry for what you're feeling. I've never experienced what you're going through, but I am definitely here if you need to just talk, if you want me to listen, like whatever it is. Being able to do that, that's a good friend. That's a good family member, because I've had many people in my life that have tried to tell me that I need to move on, or tried to say whatever little input, or even try to figure out what happened in the situation, and they have no idea what happened. And I've gotten so angry, because who the hell are you to even talk about something that is so traumatizing, that you think you have some say when you were never there? So, boundaries have been something that I have started to act on in my everyday life, of being able to be like, I'm not going to talk about this, or I'm going to set myself, you know, away for a little bit. We're going to come back and have this conversation again. So, like I said, having all of these things happen, having a lot of situations that's happened over the past year for me, I've learned my boundaries, what I will take and what I will not take from people, as well as just being able to find goals for myself. And because of all of these things and realizing all of that stuff, I have lost a lot of people because I've realized that they're not there to be my friend. They're not there to be part of my family. They're not happy for me for my successes. They don't really care for me as much as I might care for them. And so it has become really lonely sometimes, but within my small circle that I have, I'm very appreciative for the support and encouragement that I haven't had in a long time, and it's very nice to have that person to push you and be like, you can reach for the stars if you want to, and reminding me everything that I've done in my life already, and that I can, whatever I send my mind to, I'm going to accomplish it. And so I'm so excited to start. I start tomorrow. So excited. And I will be talking about my journey through college and stuff as time goes by. And we'll kind of just go on this journey together. So, back to everything. Another thing with having boundaries is making having patience for yourself. Patience is, I am telling you, the patience of people nowadays are, it's so low. Our attention span is so terrible. And I'm even a culprit to it. But I have learned to have the patience with myself when it comes to healing and when it comes to just grief in general. I, as well as telling myself that where I'm at in life right now is okay. I I didn't even have a plan of like making it past 18, to be honest. But after I'm like 19, 20, 21, and it just keeps going, I have learned to accept the fact that whatever my time is, it's okay. That as long as I keep pushing, as long as I keep doing the small steps in order to get to where my goal is, which is ultimately to have my own home. I know that might be so stupid or just so generic, but it is very it's something that is very important to me. And I will only say this because it is something that it's kind of personal, but I feel like a lot of people have the same issue with. I have made people my home, and I've never created a space for myself that has nothing to do with anybody else and just, my hardworking, like me, like this is my home. And I, that is my ultimate goal, once I finish school and working and everything, like I do want to make my own home to be able to say like it's mine and I don't have to move ever again. I I just want to settle down. I want to just have my own family and whatever that may look like. And that is something that's my goal and that's what I'm trying to reach because I feel like I haven't been home in such a long time, and it my heart hurts kind of saying that. I have felt like I haven't been home for a long time, and I am going to strive to make my own home because I know me as a person, I deserve it and I deserve to have a safe place no matter what happens in life. So, I want a lot of people to be able to realize that however slow, however fast your life is going, being able to sit down and, because life gets crazy. Life just keeps going and going. No matter how many times you tell it to freaking stop, being able to have that patience with yourself to know that you, okay, one, you're going to fall down multiple times, several times, millions of times, 100%. But being able to get yourself back up and giving yourself that love, that self-love of like, hey, you know what? You messed up. You messed up really bad. But this is how you're going to fix it. Or being able to reach out to other people and being able to express that, hey, I need help. I fucked up and I am trying to do better. That is one mindset that I am still working on having, but I having that self-love, having that patience with yourself, having that just a relationship with your own self, having that self-care is very important in transitioning not from like a teenager to an adult. It is very important to be able to have those moments to just by yourself, to be able to take care of yourself. Because once you realize that, you're taking care of yourself, you're having more self respect, you're having more self love, and being more patient with yourself, it will make life a little bit easier because your mindset will be a lot more positive. Yeah, things are going to happen. You're going to have your bad days, and that's normal. But being able to continue on and be like, you know what, today I just want to have a lazy day. I'm out of it. And that's okay. Binge watch some shows. Right now, me and my partner are on the Queer Ultimatum. We're watching that. It's crazy. I don't think I could ever do that. Mm-mm. Nope. But just having those times to be able to just relax from all the craziness in life, it is very important. And it's very important to have a relationship with yourself to be able to, if stuff hits the fan, you're always going to have yourself. You're always going to be able to pick yourself up. And that is an important lesson that I have learned the hard way. Hey, and I'm trying to help you guys by not learning the hard way. So don't do that, okay? Just take my advice. Trust me. And lastly, what I kind of want to talk about is just the panic of growing up. I and it sounds ridiculous because yeah, I'm only 24, but I have had several moments of me feeling like I am not accomplishing more than I should. I am not where I want to be. I've felt very down, very depressed, so much anxiety. Not wanting to be here. Like it got to that point several times over the past couple years. And I just want to say that it does get better. I know it's very cliche, but it does get better. Life will knock you out, will slap the crap out of you, but I think the most important thing is being able to cry your eyes out, but being able to list off what you have done in your life, what you have accomplished as a person by yourself, whether that be with people or not, but being able to appreciate yourself a lot more and realizing how much of a fighter you are. Life is just going to get harder, but being able to have that positive mindset, being able to have your social group to support you, your family, whoever it is that you call family, to be able to support you and guide you through life, it is very important. And as well as just making that relationship with yourself, I've had many breakdowns within the last year. I've lost myself several times, and I'm super appreciative for the people that I have in my life right now. I honestly, I don't think I would still be here if it wasn't for them. I've and that's another episode that I will kind of cover of like mental health and like depression and anxiety and just getting through that. I am currently still going through it. I'm still going to therapies. I'm on medication as well, and I feel a lot better from a year ago. But I know that there's still a lot of things that I need to work through, and my life isn't over yet. And eventually we're going to make it there. But as a 24-year-old, I don't know everything. This is just my experience within the last few years that I've had. But there's many experiences that I will want to share later down the road, just about me going through life, my experiences, as well as a lot of things that I've been taught and what I've learned. In the future, I do want to talk about that more into further podcasts. If you do have any stories or any difficulties that you're going through, like, let's talk about it. I am definitely down to anything. Well, depends. Okay, depends. But if you have any questions, if you just want to comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, go for it. Turn that notification bell on. I am going to try to release a couple more podcasts maybe in the next day or two. I trying to come up with some ideas, but if you guys want to comment, message me. My socials are going to be in the description below, and I will see you next time with Unleashed, Unfiltered, and Unapologetically Human. Bye, guys.